are heading over to the water company to go pay our water bill. It's always due like around the 7th. Today is the 20th. Oh, happy 420, guys. For all you weed smokers, happy 420. Joe never knows what 420 is. I don't smoke any kind of weed, but I know what 420 is. I keep hip because of the young kids that are in my life. Which none of them do either, right? The people that hang around with Jada. And you're self-employed and the paychecks don't come in on time. You have to know which ones to pay and which ones not to pay. Right, Joe? To pay or not to pay? That is the question.
To be or not to be?
Joe's gonna go put gas in. So while Joe is putting in the gas, let me get you guys caught up. We went to church last night. Back in 2008, Joe and I joined this church, and we went faithfully for 2 years till 2010. And then after 2010, a friend of mine that used to have her business next door, she started back up her little church, and we used to attend her church before. And we were like her right hand people at her church. So when she started back her church, she asked us to come and help her out. Her church was in the daytime, like at 11, and we went to this church in the evening time, like at 6. So we thought we could do it, right? And we stretched ourselves kind of thin. I wasn't doing YouTube yet. We stretched ourselves really thin, and then you can't serve two masters. You're either going to go towards one or the other. And so Joe kind of went towards our friend, because she was an older lady, and we've known her for years with her business back there. And like I said, we were her right-hand people. We did everything in the church to help her out. So we went there maybe 2 years before she kind of shut it down because it didn't go anywhere. So that would be 2010 to 2012. And then after 2012, we just visited the church that I'm speaking about right now, like a few times when they had big events. And then my friend Leah has church inside her home. So I started attending there. Joe doesn't go to Leah's church too much. I don't know. I think he doesn't like the in-the-house setting, which Leah makes it very comfortable. But I think for Joe, it's a little bit too comfortable. So I don't know why Joe doesn't go there. Let me not speak for him. But Jada and I go. And we were going faithfully too until like around December. And then I just kind of stopped. And there was no reason. I just needed a break. And sometimes I'll do that. I'll go faithfully for 5 years and then I'll need like a 5-year break, which is not good. So I didn't go since December. So I went to Leah's church yesterday morning. And they made me feel so welcome then at home. And it was really, really a good service. And then in the evening, I told Joe, let's go visit over at the old church. And he didn't really want to go because he didn't think he was going to feel welcome. And I don't know. Why didn't you want to go to Pastor Ron's yesterday at first?
It's not tough, Pastor. It's just the people.
Well, I know it's not because of the pastor. It's the parishioners, right? Yeah, the parishioners were very unfriendly when we used to go there. Hold on, let me put my seatbelt on. My seatbelt's on. So Joe says what?
I said, why put myself through that hassle when I don't have to?
And what it was is that the men that were of power in the church, they weren't the pastors or anything. They were the elders in the church. And this is a Pentecostal church. And we weren't raised Pentecostal. We were raised Episcopalian or Anglican. In Belize, we call it Anglican.
Catholic.
Joe, you weren't raised Catholic. He was baptized as a Catholic, right?
I go to Catholic.
Yeah, we all went to Catholic school in Belize because that's the schools that teach the highest education. But I wouldn't consider myself a Catholic. And so we went to the church. And the reason why Joe likes the Pentecostal church is because of all the hoopla. Right, Joe?
Mm-hmm.
He likes the music. He likes that, people catch the Holy Spirit and they fall on the ground. He's never done that, but he likes that part. I think he thinks it's a show. Like he's gone to a concert or something. But I like the Anglican Church because of the rigidity. It's kind of weird to say, right? But I like that I know when we walk in, we're going to do an opening hymn. They're going to have the opening prayer. They're going to read the epistle. They're going to read the gospel. I like, when they make a big thing about the gospel where the priest comes down from the altar and they open the big Bible and the little acolytes or whatever bring in the big Bible and hold it for him. I like the pomp and circumstance of the Anglican Church. It's much like the Catholic Church, except You know, we don't put a whole lot of stock into praying to the saints and stuff. But anyways, I like going to the Anglican Church, but you know, we don't go anymore ever since our favorite priest, you know, left and died or whatever. And so I told you, well, let's go back for a visit. So we went for a visit, and boy, am I so glad we went. I wish that I had taken my friend Leah. I called her this morning to tell her, and she's like, oh my God, you should have taken me. So she decided she's going to go with us again next time. But anyways, we went to the church. I feel like the pastor and his wife has always had a love for Joe and me. I really do. They're very, very nice people. And I think sometimes people like clamor and cling to them, like grab onto their coattails because, you know, of maybe what they can do for them. But Joe and I don't have that mindset. We don't care what the pastor can do or can't do for us. We just want to go to church to learn about the Word of God. And so we go to church with a clean right heart, and we don't go to get into positions.
I don't need no position.
Joe doesn't need a position. Joe's in no position. He's the boss at McGrin. You know, he's the co-boss at Bear Pantry Show. He's the boss of his kids. You know, Joe's tired of being a boss. You know, and really and truly, for those of you who are into church and stuff, Joe is the priest in my home. I might be the mouthpiece, but Joe definitely makes all the decisions. And I prefer to go to him and say, Joe, what do you think I should do in this situation? What do you think the kids should do? You know, I prefer that because that's why, you know, I have a good, strong man. But anyways, when we used to go to the church before, the men in the church wanted Joe to join like the men type auxiliaries. Right, Joe? They wanted him to join whatever that auxiliary is called, where you mentor the young men in the church. And Joe doesn't like to mentor young people. Joe says little kids lie all the time, and I don't want to ever stand falsely accused, and I would prefer not to have to mentor anybody. I don't have a psychology degree, and all I can do is mentor my kids and whatever little friends come to the house so that they can do better in life. And so he doesn't have any joy out of doing that. He really doesn't. And for people to force him to say, oh, you're a good, strong man, you raised some good kids, you should share that with other kids. If he doesn't get joy out of it, then why? You know, why force him to do that? So, man, this turn signal is so loud in this car. So what Joe joined, Joe joined the arts and craft auxiliary. And Jada wanted to join that. And so Joe joined with her, and I went because, you know, it was at nighttime and Jada wasn't driving it. And Joe did well for that auxiliary. He printed some prayer pillows because, you know, he silk screens. And he's very artistically inclined. You guys saw the flowers that he made at his site. And so he did a lot of things for that auxiliary. And the women in that auxiliary ate him up with a spoon. They thought they won over the men. It was a competition, and they won because they got Brother Joe. And Joe is so artistically talented. And they did a lot in that auxiliary. And then all of a sudden we just stopped going to that too, right? I think the meetings started getting sporadic, or what, we stopped going. And then we just stopped going all together. So I would say over the past 3 years since 2012, we've been there maybe a handful of times. But I really wanted to go yesterday, and I'm glad I went. We were well received. We were treated like royalty. I would even go so far as to say that. We were treated like royalty. There were all new church members, which was amazing. So amazing, because we have fresh people to start with. They were all new band members. I remember when we went to the old church, even in the choir, you couldn't get anything. You couldn't get any headway. They had a New Year's Eve thing one time at the church, and Jada wanted to sing a song, and that choir director, she's long been gone from there though, she made sure that Jada didn't get to sing her song, even though she says everybody was welcomed. And so there were new band members, new church members, and pastor and his wife was there, the assistant pastor and his wife, and they really, really celebrated us. It wasn't that thing where, oh my God, where have you been? You know, that's why I hate going back to churches that you belong to and you haven't gone in a while, because that's the first thing anybody wants to tell you. Where have you been? You know, hey, you have to come to church. They didn't do that. They didn't do that. I don't know if pastor and his wife will start watching my vlog because I told them about my cooking show, but they did not do that. They welcomed us with open arms. They hugged us. They celebrated us. They made an announcement over the mic that they're glad to see that we're back. And you could see a lot of the members right now are kind of like, well, who are they? You know, why are they making such a big to-do? And we're nothing. Well, we're something in the eyes of the Lord, but we were nothing in that church. But it was amazing. It was so amazing to go and get treated so well, because we didn't have that experience the first time around. And I'm happy. I'm very excited. I'm very excited. We're at the water company. See all these cars? See all these cars right here? They're waiting to go inside and pay their water bill, because they don't know that they won't shut them off. You got till tomorrow, guys. Everybody has till the 21st. Hold the phone, Joel. Talk to the people.
Talking to you people.
No, you have to hold it on you.
I know.
No, hold it on you like this. And this hand, because this hand going to cover the camera.
They forced me to talk to the people. That's what I'm doing. Good morning, everyone. We're getting ready to go to work right now, and you know what? We're getting ready to go to work. Alrighty.
What are you telling my people?
All I tell the people, we're getting ready to go to work.
You can't say nothing else. Tell them about your faucet. Tell them that you put in your faucet. Tell them.
I'll put in my gooseneck.
Oh, that's what it's called, gooseneck. Like I said, guys, how do people vlog with their phones? I didn't bring my vlogging camera today, and every 2 seconds somebody butts in, and I try to edit those parts out, because you're gonna hear in your ear, especially for the people who listen with headphones. I'm always mindful when I'm taping my shows to watch the sound volume and stuff with the cameras, and if I go from camera to camera, to not let it be jarring, like to use one camera as the sound and then just kind of do cutaways or something, because I want to protect people's hearing that are listening by headphones. All right, so I'm trying to show family pictures on the computer. So this man right here, let me see if I can get in close. Looks kind of dark, right? But he was a white man from Cardiff, Wales, and he came to Belize, or he went to Belize. I keep saying came like I'm still there. He went to Belize, and he got married to this lady right here. She was probably a native of Belize or something. I'm thinking Aztec or Mayan. And then they had all these bajillion kids here. Aren't they beautiful? I think this lady is not really a family member, but family. This guy lived to be like 105 and died like in 1985. And then this is family too. This is my aunt Tylene that I wrote about in my cookbook. She lived to be 98 and died in 2004. She's sitting on her grandmother's lap. One of these ladies here is her mom, and I do believe her mom is this one, Adriana. Jada kind of looks like her. I have a picture that maybe I can insert if Jada still has it. And then this one gave birth to my grandfather, which is my mom's dad. So because these two were sisters, Aunt Eileen and my grandfather are cousins, of course. This is not my grandfather, by the way, some other cousin. And then Aunt Eileen's dad remarried and had 4 kids with my grandma's mom. So this is where the family tree started, guys. So I think we've got some kind of native in us. That's why sometimes I look so native. Although this guy looks native too right here. And they lived at the Keys, so they're all barefooted in this family portrait right here. It's so funny to watch. So this is my grandpa, my mom's dad when he was younger. We call him Benque Daddy because he used to live in the Benque Viejo area in Belize. This is my grandmother. My mom kind of favors her right there. This is my mom as a baby. That's her brother Norman and her older brother David. I think I might have pictures of him as he's older. So this is my Uncle Norman. Remember he was in that picture just now? Let's see if I can put them side by side. See him there? And then there. I don't think he changed at all. So my mom has 2 older brothers, David and Norman. And then my mom's the 3rd child, the first daughter. And then this is one of her younger brothers, Michael. And he was one of my favorite uncles when I lived in Belize until I came to America and met Uncle Les. And then he became my favoritist. They are my kids with him. I think Josh and Uncle Mike kind of favor. This is Uncle Les. You guys hear me talk about him all the time. This was when he first joined the army in his early 20s. Here's a picture of mom and dad, like maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Mommy's baby brother, Uncle Roger, or as we say in Belize, Raja, Uncle Raja. And he's only about 5 years older than I am. This is my baby brother, Rory, and we kind of think he favors Grandpa. What do you guys think? Here's a picture of Joe and his dad when we went to Belize in 2013. So it's the end of my day on 420. I'm actually trying to get this vlog edited and uploaded tonight, but I wanted you guys to see what Joe's doing at the end of the day. He's making coconut oil from scratch. He's doing it for his show. And I just kind of spent my whole evening going through old family photographs. Calandra, you made me do this, okay? Just going through old family photographs to try to build somewhat of a family tree to show you guys our heritage. Unfortunately, we don't have anything from Joe's dad's side of the family, like his grandma and grandpa on that side, because that's what happens when family hates each other. So I'm lucky I have stuff from my dad's side of the family, but I have some from my mom's side, and I think it was pretty interesting. I'm glad I kind of spent this afternoon, because the question that I get asked a lot is, am I native? And I never used to think I was, but then going through the family photographs, I see that my grandfather's grandmother, she looked very native. She looked Aztec or Mayan, you know, something from that region in Belize. So I might be, guys. As Belizeans, we just tell everybody we're black. Immigration says we're white. You know, like if you go and look in the computer and ask immigration, what are the nationals of Belize? They'll say we're white. I guess because we were under the rule of England for so long. But when people ask us, we say we're black. Unfortunately, I can't pass for black all the time. I can only pass for black when I'm with them. Most of the time, people think I'm just kind of Hispanic. So I don't know. That's why I named the thumbnail, Who Am I? Yes, who am I?
You're not Hispanic.
What am I?
You're
Let's hear it. I'm not going to put words in his mouth. Let him say it himself. Latin?
Yeah, Spanish.
Latin?
Yeah.
So, in Belize, the people in Belize are called Spanish because that comes from Spaniard, and there's a lot of Spaniards. Descendant. Look how Jory keep passing in the background. Jory, are you in your underwear?
No.
Okay. So there's a lot of Spaniards descent people there. So what am I, guys? Help me out over here.
A mutt.
Yes, I'm a mutt. We'll just go by that. I'm a mutt. So I'm trying to upload this vlog tonight, okay? Jory's over there doing the dishes, so you hear water pouring. Oh, let me show you guys my new faucet. Are we seeing it, Jory?
Is that? Yeah.
Awesome. Stop wasting the water, Jory. I'll drop.
I'll show you.
Telling Jory, stop wasting water, we have a drought. So, Mom and Dad are on the plane safely coming home. And I am hoping when Mom gets to the ER that they can tend to her right away and they can find out what it is and treat it. I am praying that we're going to have good news tomorrow. I'm going to try to upload this vlog tonight so I can start a new one tomorrow. And I don't know how often I'll upload after that, depending on where I am. Dad does have internet, so we might have to do it from his house. His house. Let's take a look at Joe's coconut oil. So here it is. And a lot of people kind of gave us flack when we did the coconut oil at my show, at my cooking show, because they say it's not virgin if you put it through heat. What they don't know is that cold pressed coconut oil goes through heat too. The first thing, the copper goes through heat when it goes through the first set of hoses, and then it just continuously goes through heat about 3 or 4 times.
You gotta go through heat
But
to get the oil.
people don't know that, you know, and people think they know everything, and you know, and basically they want to cuss us out. That's why I don't change the name, because I know I'm like pissing off a bunch of people. So it's not a deceptive name. People just don't know what the process is, and my dad had to study coconut oil extensively because he sells it here. And I remember one time he put that it was cholesterol free, and he had to put it in a lab and make sure that it was cholesterol free by the FDA. The FDA told me he had to do that. He had to pay big money, thousands of dollars, to prove that it was cholesterol free because he was making a claim. I think when it comes to a cooking show, that people on a whole always give you a lot of flack because there's always a better way that they could do it, but yet Nobody gets up and does the show and edits it and puts it online and do all the stuff that I do. So I just don't let their negative comments get to me because I get enough positive comments from you guys. And even for the lady that told me, I forget the name of the person, I'm gonna have to look it up, that told me that she just loved my show and I was doing a great job with that. Bless me so much, because sometimes I don't think I'm vlogging the right way, if there's a right way to vlog, because I'm not a vlogger. I don't have activities to do every day, so it's just my little boring life. But you guys seem to enjoy it and I really appreciate you, and so that's why I continue to do it, okay? So here is somewhat of a family tree. My parents are in the middle, and then here are my grandparents on my mom's side. These are the grandparents that played a major role in helping to raise me. And then here are the grandparents on my dad's side. And then this is my parents with me. Who do I favor, guys? This is Joe's family, his dad and his mom, and the mom's parents are on the right of her. This is the mom's dad. He was originally from Barbados. This is the mom's mom, and she was originally from Sri Lanka, we're told. We kind of think Joshua favors her. What do you guys think? Because Joshua thinks so too. This is my Uncle Les when he had first joined the American Army. Here's my grandmother in the middle, and her sisters are on either end of her. And this is me at age 2 and Jada at age 2. I'm on the left, Jada's on the right. This is what Joe looked like when I first met him, guys. This is what I looked like when Joe first met me. And then here's another like so-called professional picture. And then my dreaded high school picture. Oh my goodness, what a baby face. Thank you for liking and subscribing, and please check out my other 2 channels, the product review channel, Bear Pantry Talk, and the cooking show, The Bear Pantry Show, where you will find over 100 Belizean recipes.